All the energy, all the commitment come down to this, the NFL Draft. It's a night every football player dreams of. You put on your best suit, you walk across the stage as your new NFL family welcomes you to their team. The Carolina Panthers have come up big in the draft the past few seasons. They look to keep that trend up in Texas. Well, A&T running back Marquell Cartwright rushed for nearly 1,200 yards and scored 15 total touchdowns during A&T's undefeated national title run last year. Now he's looking to go out with a bang in his senior season. But before the Aggies get their new year started, I wanted to catch up with the High Point native and get to know him just a little bit better. You know, the NFC playoff picture is quickly coming together, and if the Carolina Panthers don't pick up speed soon, they could be left out of it. They've got 3 games left to salvage the season, but the road really doesn't get any easier from here on out. Tonight, a matchup with the NFC's top seed and their division rivals from New Orleans. All season long, the Carolina Tar Heels had to listen to people talk about last year, the shot that broke Tar Heel Nation's heart. Well, tonight, they had a chance to give them something else to talk about. All it would take is a win over Gonzaga in tonight's national championship game. Missed the Celebration Bowl last season after winning it all just 2 seasons ago. You could tell these guys were hungry to feel the joy of a championship once again. So with just over 90 seconds left in the game, they strapped their helmets a little bit tighter and fought for a game-winning touchdown. Now they're back on top of the HBCU football world, and they've got a feeling that no one can take away. Well, it took a 1-point battle against their arch rivals to get to this point, but Duke couldn't stop here if they wanted to reach their tournament goal. Well, it's one of the best times in college basketball, folks. Welcome to Carolina Duke Week. This week, Wednesday night, number 8 UNC travels to number 1 Duke to renew their decades-old rivalry. UNC currently leads the all-time series, but before we get into the game, let's catch up with the player who's going to play a key role in it. This right here is 1 Minute with Luke May. Luke, you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's do it. 3, 2. All right, your favorite thing to do when you're not playing basketball?
Play ping pong.
What's something someone wouldn't know about you?
That I love going to the movie theater, but I'm a big animated movie guy.
Animated, what's your favorite movie?
Kung Fu Panda.
That's a good one, all right. Favorite player growing up?
Dirk Nowitzki.
Okay, you come from a family of athletes. Who's the best athlete in your family?
I am.
Okay. You and your brother Cole both have national championships. Which one is more impressive?
Mine is.
All right, where do you spend most of your time on campus?
Probably most of my time at the business school, because that's where I've spent my last 2 years being kind of isolated a little bit from campus, but I love being in the pit and being right around kind of Union.
All right, your favorite Roy Williams quote?
It's a quote that we have, like a thought for the day. It's best when somebody does something and nobody cares who gets the credit.
All right, last question. Who's your favorite team to beat?
Duke.
Simple answer. All right, that is 1 Minute with Luke May. Luke, thank you so much.
Thank you.
As Coach K and the Blue Devils get ready to open up their tournament against Syracuse tonight, I caught up with some fans this morning to get to the bottom of a very pressing matter. All right, we're outside the Spectrum Center, and today we are going to find out how well people really know Coach K. All right, so Daniel and Vicky, my question to you is, can you spell Krzyzewski?
Can we just say Coach K? Oh my gosh. No, I can't do it.
Can you spell Krzyzewski?
Oh, yes.
I don't know.
You were so close. Can you spell Krzyzewski?
I can.
All right, let's do it. There it is.
All right.
You're right. The jerseys hanging from Rodney Rogers' ceiling tell a story. There's the Durham Hillside Blue from his high school days.
They gave me the name, the Durham Bull. That's my hometown. That's where my roots started.
From there, the Bull traded in that blue for the Wake Forest Old Gold and Black.
I used to love to come back home and play against Duke. Go to Chapel Hill, play against Carolina, and try to let them know I show them that, since they recruited over me, I'm sure what they missed out on.
That's exactly what he did. Rodgers spent 3 seasons at Wake Forest. He won ACC Rookie of the Year, ACC Player of the Year, and earned All ACC and All American honors. He left with his number 54 jersey retired in the rafters. Then, the NBA came calling. The Denver Nuggets selected him 9th overall in 1993. He played for 6 other teams, won 6th Man of the Year, and played in the NBA Finals before retiring in 2005. But turns out, that was just the beginning of his story. It's a story his jerseys can't tell. Forever a Durham boy, Rodgers went back home to work for the city that raised him.
Wanted to work, learn some more stuff.
But then everything changed on a dirt bike ride in 2008.
It was the day after Thanksgiving.
He wanted to go ride, and I tried to convince him not to go because we had already had plans.
Some still kept telling me, don't ride, just don't ride. I wouldn't ride anyway.
Rodgers raced his friend down a familiar hill in Vance County.
And when I raced him, I split to the left, he went to the right.
But this time, something was different.
All of a sudden, I seen a ditch I ain't never seen before. I was flipping over, and next thing I knew, I couldn't move that.
That's what made me cry. I hate thinking about it, but he asked me, don't be upset, and that he messed up.
He was paralyzed from his shoulders down. Doctors gave Rodgers a 5% chance of ever walking again, and from that moment, he faced a challenge he'd never seen on any basketball court.
I never wanted to go outside. I didn't want nobody to see me in a wheelchair.
The first year, we stayed in the room with the blinds closed.
You know, I can't take care of my wife like I want to. I can't hold her in my arms. I can't, hold her hand and stuff like that. And sometimes it make you feel less than a man.
We was at the point where we both contemplated suicide.
But then love took over. Rodney and Faye got married in 2010, 2 years after the accident.
And my wife said, it is what it is. We just gotta, stay strong and just keep fighting and fighting.
Yes, we have challenges, but we're gonna get through the challenge, and that's it. I think that's why I'm here. I'm here. I think God put me here for this and to help you get through and you help me get through.
And as their 9th anniversary approaches, they continue to fight through life's challenges together.
Every day I'm wild. I'm wild that my husband is still living and my husband is healthy and my husband has a quality life.
So maybe his story isn't best told by hanging jerseys or highlights, but instead photos like this. Because this is a story of perseverance, strength, and love. And when given the choice between that and basketball,
I'd rather known as a good person with a good heart, also as a pretty good basketball player.
As the sun rises over Greensboro, Garrett Hall is already on a football field.
I don't wake up at 4 a.m. for no reason. I don't hit the practice field at 7 a.m. for no reason. I don't go 100% for no reason.
But to truly understand his reason, you'll have to look to his past.
And it wasn't just a sport to me. It's kind of a way of an escape of life. And my senior year, I started getting a lot of looks.
Garrett graduated from Southwestern Randolph High School in 2012. Then he left home for Matthews, North Carolina, to play a semester of football at prep school.
At schools like NC State, Coastal Carolina, checking me out at the time. My thoughts originally, I was like, man, I'm gonna try to get as many D1 offers as I can, honestly.
But prep school was also more than 70 miles away from home.
Just something in the back of my head made me feel uneasy. I thought it was just the fact that he was not going to be at home. And then later, I think the reason I felt uneasy is because maybe I knew something was coming.
In a sea of flashing lights on a neighborhood street, 3 teens lay shot.
July 15th, 2012, the day that changed everything.
We were all hanging out in my apartment, and a teammate came over and told us about a party.
Garrett and a few teammates ended up at a house in Charlotte.
We stayed in there for about 2 to 3, maybe 5 minutes, and we noticed that we really didn't want to be there.
So they left, but not before the person who invited them stopped to talk in the driveway.
We stood there for maybe 2 or 3 minutes talking to him, and then we were just talking to him, And then I heard a scream.
Garrett found himself in a crowd, rushing away from the house as gunshots flew through the air. One teenager died that night, but 2 others were shot. Garrett quickly realized he was one of them.
I took 3 steps. I remember specifically 3 steps, and my leg gave out. I fell to the ground. I dove on the road, and I crawled across the road on my hands and my stomach. On my hands and my stomach. And I got to the other side of the road, and there was a girl there, and I said, "Hey, can you help me?" And she said no, and took off running.
Garrett was alone, in an unfamiliar place, with only his thoughts.
I just looked down. I thought I was going to die. I didn't know what to think. I'm very religious. I cried out to God, praying to save my life. Please don't let it happen to me.
Eventually, help arrived.
The nurses in the back of the ambulance were freaking out, and I asked one of the guys, I looked at him and said, "Please don't let me die." And he looked and he paused with like a sad face. And he said, "I'm going to do my best." And at that point, I thought all hope was gone. I thought I was going to die in that ambulance.
Garrett needed surgery on his leg. Doctors told him he might not walk, let alone play football ever again. But as he laid there in his hospital bed, he decided this wasn't the end.
I didn't want to let my parents down.
So for the next year, Garrett rehabbed. Not only to get back on the football field, but to prove everyone wrong. He got better and tried to walk on at Liberty University. There wasn't a spot for him, but still, he kept fighting for a second chance. And one day, something changed. Garrett's mom sent his story to the 700 Club.
After it aired, a family friend sent Garrett's football link to the coach at Greensboro College.
And Garrett got a call. Greg Crum, the Greensboro College head coach, wanted him on his team.
There was a lot of things about Garrett that made me want him here. Number one, he's just a great kid. He's a high character guy.
I cried. I'll be honest with you. I told my mom, I went in the next room and I cried, and I told her that a coach wanted me to play for him. And I broke down like a little baby.
Crum didn't even know Garrett's backstory when he signed him.
For him to bounce back and be here today, number one, is a blessing. But number two, to be able to play the sport that he loves as hard as he plays it is amazing.
Now, at 23 years old, Garrett's a junior in the classroom and a freshman on the field.
It's an accomplishment. Every Saturday, putting on an actual jersey for an actual team.
He proudly wears his number 14 each weekend for the Pride, and it's because all this is about more than a scholarship.
5 years later, everything that everybody said, you will never play again, the doctor said it was physically impossible. I did it, and all that hard work I put in it finally paid off.
Before, Garrett Hall's reason for getting back on the field, practicing at dawn, and giving everything he had was for the love of the game. But today, that reason's changed.
Through my story and through what happened, I just want people that have gone through or are going through a tough time in life, whether it's you got shot, you just got out of a bad relationship, you're not doing too good in school, you lost a job, divorce, whatever the situation is, no matter how bad it is, no matter how light it is, you can get through it.
And for Garrett, it's about taking life one tackle at a time.